I was on Twitter and I did the video for it. Links down in the description. There's a lot of people who are mixed about it. There's a lot of people that are kind of like, hey, certain things aren't really accurate to what we've gotten in the animated series of Avatar. A lot of people were on the subject about Aang's airbending ability. So in the animated, he uses his glider, right, to fly.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, but in the show, for Netflix, it looked like he was able to do it without the glider. When he had got captured by Prince, well, he didn't get captured. He kind of like turned himself over to Prince Zuko, because Prince Zuko was basically about to kill Sokka. When he escaped from Prince Zuko's ship, he then pulls out the glider, where it's kind of like, why did he need to do that if what he displayed in front of us was he was able to be lifted off the ground without the glider because yet he's an airbender, you know?
Right.
So it kind of confused a lot of people because a lot of people were like, hey, this isn't really accurate because if you watch The Legend of Korra, it explains something to where Aang refuses to do a certain type of skill. Reason why I don't know. I'm gonna see if I can find it right now, but I don't know. I don't know what your take is on that.
To me, what it seemed like, I did kind of notice that too, because I can't remember his name, but one of the antagonists in Korra, he was like the only airbender that would, was able to do that
Yeah, he
the
was
flying
only able to
technique.
do that.
And we never seen Aang really do it in the animated series. But the thing that stood out differently to me between them two flying was that the other guy, who I can't remember his name, um, he was. It was more of like a Superman type flying. Like it was very proficient, very fast, very like fluid. Whereas in the show or in the live action, Aang was kind of more like an early form of it. Like, because if you notice in the beginning when he was in the air temple, when they first showed him flying around, he was kind of going from point to point, like like the pillars and whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like it was more of like a gliding, like himself gliding to me. Obviously, and then further on when he's looking for Appa in the Southern Water Tribe area, he kind of like floats up in the air, but I think that's just a hovering technique from by using the air.
Mm-hmm.
So to me, it doesn't really look like flying like the other guy again, who I can't remember. I think it starts with is it Azir? No,
Okay, so right here it says airbenders could always hover, even very high like Roku,
right,
but they couldn't float and soar like Superman. That's why Zahir was special
Azir.
because
Okay, yeah,
uh, what Aang does in live action is completely accurate when you see once he's like falling down slowly. So
right.
it
That's what I'm saying. It's more of like an early form stage of flying, but
mhm.
it's not flying. Like it's just hovering. That's what I got the vibe of because he was kind of coming down from somewhere and kind of using the air to hold himself up. Um, which I mean, I noticed what it was, but I know also in my head knew that's not he's not really flying. He's kind of like floating down, like I said, and he was going to point. And I feel like the flying, like the actual flying, is more an advanced version of that, of using the air around you to carry you through, you know, um, the air, I guess.
Right.
So,
Yeah, there was a lot of people that were really
I mean, here's my
on
thing:
one
is like
different side of it.
it's a live action adaptation. It's not a live action like mirror of the animated. It's an adaptation. It's adapting it. And what do you have to do to adapt? You have to change. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean?
Yeah.
So it's like not necessarily they have to change, but there are things that they are going to change to make more sense um to for the story purposes. Because obviously in the animated it's all like 25-minute episodes. but it's like 22 episodes a season or something like that. Whereas live action, they want to do it,
Just eight
hour long
episodes. Yeah.
episodes for like 10 episodes, 8 episodes, whatever, for anything. So it's like they have to find a way to cram 22 episode story into 1 hour long 8 episodes, but like make it cinematic, not too cartoony, but faithful to to the source material.
Hmm. How do you feel?
I haven't finished it yet, but I think I'm on like episode 4. But so far, I mean, I really like how it's turning out. So
Right. I mean, for me, I feel like the casting is great for this show. I feel like they really hit the nail on the head for kind of almost being
everyone,
spot yeah, kind of almost being spot on. Sokka damn near sounds like Sokka from the animated. Um
yeah, they casted a really good Saga. He does really well.
yeah, he's super good. Fucking Prince Zuko, that casting is great. That casting to me is perfect. I get the same vibes from them as far as like the way they sound, the way they act, their features, as far as like how accurate they look to the animated, because it's really hard to get somebody who looks as accurate as something that's been created to be, animated, you know? Like for
Yeah,
example, if you try to make a Pixar movie live action, it's going to be really hard to find accurate looking people because you're trying to transition somebody who's been drawn to somebody who's real, and you're trying to find a good
which is why I have a
comparison.
lot of problems with the way people are trying to treat this show. Because
What do you mean?
I've seen comments about it's mostly the actresses, but a lot of the comments were like, oh, her she doesn't look like Azula, da, 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 like her face is too round or something like that. Or
Yeah,
even the same thing for Katara. I even seen something about oh she's not melanin enough, and I'm like these are like the dumbest comments. I'm like
that's like
it,
nitpicking
it's
comments.
but it's like you can't literally translate faces from an animation uh
Live action,
to live action. Otherwise, you're gonna get something like Alita Battle Angel, where they gave her like the animated face and like the big old eyes, but it's
like
all
the
live
big eyes.
action.
Yeah.
So it's like it's not gonna look great. I mean, of course they're gonna be. It's the actors and actresses portraying their look and personality. It's not they're
Mm-hmm.
not translating the animation.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, Aang would look exactly like Aang. Sokka would look exactly like Sokka. Zuko would look exactly like Zuko. Uncle Iroh with like the freaking spiky fucking beard that he had going on.
Right.
It's like that type of shit. It's like I hate these like nitpicking comments. It's like, bro, like nothing is ever going to be perfect, but like it's good enough. Like it's not bad.
Mm.
It's way better than a lot of other things. Like I can name. I mean, you got like Dragon Ball. You got Death Note. What else was there? Cowboy Bebop. Like those live action adaptations were
Ass.
bad.
Oh, the Dragon Ball Evolution was absolutely freaking horrible.